When persistence becomes collective, civilizations do not appear fully formed. They emerge slowly as patterns of coordination that persist across individuals, generations, and disruptions. Layer 16 of the Carroll Wells Gradient examines what happens when persistence is no longer carried by single organisms or local systems, but by collective structures, languages, tools, institutions, norms, and shared models of reality. This layer is not about politics, ideology, or moral judgment. It is about physical survival at scale. A civilization, in the CWG framework, is a persistence engine. It is a system that stores information externally, distributes cognitive load, and stabilizes behavior across time. Writing, mathematics, science, engineering, and law are not cultural accidents. They are low dissipation memory systems that allow structure to outlive individuals. At this scale, renewal becomes unavoidable. No civilization can persist indefinitely without reorganization. Energy budgets shift, resources change, environments evolve, internal complexity increases. Eventually, existing structures exceed their ability to export entropy efficiently. When that happens, collapse pressure builds. Layer 16 reframes collapse not as civilizational failure, but as constraint feedback. Just as stars collapse when fuel cycles change and organisms fail when metabolic costs exceed intake, civilizations destabilize when informational, energetic, or social costs grow faster than their renewal mechanisms. Renewal is the process by which persistence rewires itself. This can take many forms: technological transformation, institutional reform, scientific revolutions, or cultural realignment. The specific mechanism is not important. What matters is whether the civilization can reduce dissipation, restore coherence, and reestablish scalable coordination. Civilizations that cannot renew fragment, civilizations that can renew persist. Importantly, renewal does not erase history. Just as in Layer 7, costs already paid are never removed from the ledger. Failed systems leave scars, depleted ecosystems, altered climates, broken trust networks, and lost knowledge. Renewal operates under those inherited constraints. There are no true resets. This is why civilizational learning matters. When a civilization develops methods for testing ideas, correcting errors, and transmitting reliable knowledge forward, it increases its odds of renewal. Science, education, and transparent institutions are not luxuries, they are persistence technologies. Layer 16 also explains why civilizations tend to oscillate between expansion and consolidation. Growth increases complexity, complexity increases cost, cost eventually forces restructuring, renewal stabilizes the system temporarily until growth resumes and the cycle repeats. This is not a flaw, it is how persistence scales. At this layer, ethics enters the picture, not as cosmic commandment, but as coordination efficiency. Norms that reduce conflict, align incentives, and preserve trust lower dissipation. Norms that amplify division or short-term extraction raise it. Over time, selection favors civilizations whose values support renewal rather than accelerate collapse. This does not mean history is morally guided. It means physics quietly filters outcomes. Layer 16 also clarifies the role of reflection. Civilizations capable of modeling their own behavior, tracking trends, recognizing warning signs, and adjusting course gain a survival advantage. Self-analysis is not vanity, it is feedback control at the largest scale. This is where science, policy, and long-term planning intersect, not because the universe demands wisdom, but because ignorance is expensive. The CWG framework does not claim that all civilizations will survive. Most will not. Persistence filters ruthlessly, but it also does not claim inevitability of failure. Renewal is possible wherever constraints are recognized and acted upon. Layer 16 sits above the reflective layer, not as an add-on, but as a consequence. Once reflection becomes collective, persistence operates through institutions rather than individuals. The unit of survival changes. Civilizations are not guaranteed futures. They are ongoing experiments. Those that learn how to renew under constraint extend their existence. Those that do not are archived in the universe's ledger as lessons paid for in full. Layer 16 does not predict outcomes. It explains why renewal is the only path forward once persistence becomes shared. This layer completes the CWG ladder not with optimism or despair, but with clarity. The universe does not promise continuity. It offers conditions. What persists is what learns to renew. I'm Charles Carroll, and thank you for listening to this episode.